Preeya, my sort of minestrone always starts with some meat. This is pancetta, and I'm going to pop it straight in the pan and get it sizzling away. It's the pancetta and the fat in the pancetta that renders down and gives it a really nice flavour. Now, I've got some zucchini there. I want you to dice that up. Before you dice that up, I'm going to chop up this garlic and throw it straight in. Garlic is one of my favourite things. You can crush it if you want, but I'm going to leave it really chunky and throw it straight in there.
It is a magnificent soup that is so nourishing, and you can pack, like you can use all this stuff.
Exactly, and when the carrot starts to bend like this, they're ready for minestrone.
Love
you
it.
can prepare all the vegetables like this, diced up onions, some celery, some carrot here, a couple of bay leaves. Once they're diced up like that, you throw it in. But a lot of the work is actually cutting the vegetables, because the cooking of the soup doesn't take that long at all, but it's getting everything cut up. So it's a great way to actually practice your knife skills so that you can cut up nice chunky vegetables. And the thing you want to do is get the hard vegetables in, the things like the celery, the carrot, the fennel, into the pot and get that simmering away. And then we add the things like the zucchinis and the soft vegetables later on.
Because they take less time to cook.
Exactly.
I love the fennel. I actually don't put that in my minestrone at home, but I love that you use this. I often use it raw in a salad with orange and citrus, but I love that you cook with it.
I love the flavour of fennel. You can see I'm even cutting it with the core there as well. I just cut through that because it's all vegetable, all good for you, all tasty, and that fennel flavour.
Oh my gosh, you sounded like me for a second.
But that flavour of the fennel is just beautiful.
I love it.
Smells like when I was a young lad, we would go down to the creek and we would hunt for lizards and hunt for rocks, and the smell of fennel was everywhere because fennel grew wild where I grew up. So it was a beautiful thing. Now, the tops here, the stems, you can use them as well.
No waste. I love this. Full of flavour, and people use this, I don't want to get near your knife, but I know you use that in restaurants and make things look fancy now.
We call it garnish, and what we do is we put a fluffy little thing on the end there to make it look nice and pretty. Is that what you're trying to say?
Garnish.
Great with fish, great with everything. We're learning so much, aren't we?
We are.
Learning so much together. Now, what I do is I sweat this off nicely, and you've got the pepper over there. If you can grab that, and I'll give that a bit of a tap. Plenty of pepper in there, and plenty of salt as well. Keeping in mind that the pancetta is quite salty. It's cured in salt, so we want to make sure we get the right balance. Don't over-salt it, and it'll come together beautifully. Now, that's sweating up beautifully, so if I get you to pass me the white wine and the stock, we'll bring that over. So white wine goes straight in there like that.
Lovely.
Look at that. Nice sizzle there. Not that there's any leftover white wine in my house,
No,
but
you've done this and then done a bit of that.
Exactly.
Right?
Sometimes there is. I'm going to throw the zucchini in here as well and get it all sizzling away. Now, I've got some thyme and some oregano. If you can pick that as well, we'll pop that in. Now, this is the other part that's important. When you are making a soup like this, a minestrone, you need a really good flavour. I make stocks at home all the time. I've got them all frozen in there in little containers. But the stock is really important. So if you can't make it yourself, it's a good idea to buy a really good one. And that's what I'm using here. Pour that in there. It's made with real chicken, real vegetables, all the good stuff. That's where you get all the flavour from. And that's what I look for. So in goes that stock, and I've got some boiling away here because we want to get it all going fairly quickly. I'll pour that in here as well. And what I want to do is cover those vegetables about an inch or so over the top there. There we go. Throw it all in there, and we'll get that simmering away. But while you've got the herbs there, we can sweat them off if you want, or just chuck them in.
Chuck them in.
And that's what I love about it. In they go.
This, and this is actually when you start cooking a bit like me, which is everything goes in a pot and just gets shoved in there and thrown and on the stove.
Just when I start cooking a bit like you.
No, wait a minute. I mean my style of cooking.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Oh, that's offensive to
No.
you.
We just need to be clear with everything we're talking about. Now, we're talking about using up leftovers. You know, we got the Parmesan cheese. I cut the crust off or the rind off. I throw that into the soup. So we get lovely Parmesan flavour in the soup because it doesn't melt, or it does melt very slowly, but it will boil away in there for at least an hour or 2 hours, however long you want, and get that real Parmesan flavour. And we're not wasting any of that Parmesan, which is really important.
I love that. Do you take it out later, the waxy bit?
You can take it out later, or you can just chew on it. It becomes very, very soft.
Nice.
It's good for your teeth, apparently.
All right.
Now, if you can pass me the tomato and the beans, we're going to throw them in now. I use a little bit of tomato passata or chopped up tomato or even fresh tomato. You know, if you've got leftover tomatoes, they're getting a little bit squishy.
Yeah.
Put them in a bag, put them in the freezer, and then bring them out and throw them in the soup. They're fantastic. So I'll just stir that around for a second. And in goes some white beans as well. And I'm going to throw some chickpeas in here as well. Now, that's going to come up beautifully. Now, what I like to do is let this simmer away. It'll take about 20 minutes or so to cook and come to the boil. Everything will be cooked beautifully. And then when we finish it off, we'll finish it off with some spinach and some fresh herbs. Pull it together. It will be an outstanding soup.
Oh, I'm excited, Richo.
Preeya, ready to go. You can see it's simmering away beautifully. That lovely tomato colour in there.
Love it.
Some people like less tomato. I like a lot. It's up to you what you do. Basil, parsley straight in there, and I like to put that in right at the end so it stays nice and green and lots of flavour. And some baby spinach I found lurking around. Lurking around in the back there. I love baby spinach. Always give it a wash though. Spinach has usually got a little bit of grit on it, so, you know, make sure you give it a wash, dry it off in a little spin dryer, and, you know the little spin dryer that you turn it around?
I do, actually. Yeah. My mother-in-law has one.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Hello to Preeya's mother-in-law. Now, I'll just spoon this up now, or ladle it into the bowl here so you can see.
Lovely. And I love the fact it's got all these veggies in it. You could use anything that's lying around. You could even use frozen if it's more cost-effective for you.
Yep.
The beans can be canned. They count in your veggie intake. Like, this is a really great meal.
Exactly. Simple, tasty, exactly what you want. Now, if you wanted to, you could grab some extra virgin olive oil and you can put some cheese on it. I'll just squeeze some olive oil in there as well, so you've got that lovely flavour. Perfect veggies, leftovers, got a nice colour to it.
Beautiful flavour. Actually, quite a bit of flavour from the pancetta.
Yep. Now, you can put some pasta in there if you want. Some people like that. They like rice in there, whatever you want to do. Or even some bread that's been crunched up, some toasted bread to finish it off. But I like it just like that. You have it however way you want. Want some more?
Yeah, I do.